Hey, Frank, what were you guys able to do defensively against Dallas tonight? And obviously they come in as the #1 offense in the league, and really look like you were able to slow them tonight.
Yeah, I was really proud of our defensive effort and this competitive spirit. I thought we just really competed, whatever defense we were in. It's always a little bit of there's two teams playing. Obviously they didn't shoot the ball as well as they're accustomed to, maybe because of the back-to-back. But we did some things defensively, scheme-wise, that I hoped would try to keep us home on their shooters a little bit more, and at least closer to their shooters. We know they're going to shoot 43s a game regardless, and I just was proud of how we competed and executed the game plan.
Frank, it's not necessarily new because he leads the league in assists, but over the last 2 nights, LeBron, I think 29 assists and 3 turnovers. What have you seen over that little stretch of games for him?
It's a hell of a 2-game stretch. 29 assists, 2 turnovers. His pace the last two nights has been outstanding. Just in the open court, but also in the half court, not looking to settle. We learn lessons from every game, right? And we didn't touch the paint enough in the second half versus the Clippers, and it cost us that win. We reversed that, so to speak, and did a much better job the last 2 nights of just making sure that we're living in the paint. And when we get in the paint, take care of the basketball, make great decisions. And, he got 16 and 13 assists, picking teams apart by being aggressive.
You talked about sort of the edge on defense, and a lot of guys have talked about the slippage. I mean, what do you think was regained tonight, and do you feel like maybe losing to the Mavericks at the beginning of the month had some influence on that?
Well, I mean, I think losing that game had some influence on the respect we have for this team. They played us really well the first 2 games, even though we won the first one. I just think that, sometimes you're on the road a ton and you're playing a lot of games, limited practice time, so naturally there's going to be a little bit of slippage. I think we benefited from the little bit of a break around Christmas where we played 2 games in 8 days. And, kind of got our legs back under us. We had a couple practices. We had more film sessions, opportunities to tighten the screws and improve, and paid dividends the last 2 games.
This was more of a difficult month for you guys. I think you were 9-5 this month, and you played
a lot
on the road. So how would you assess this month for you guys? I think you ended up going 9-5 for the month.
Overall, very good. We feel like we missed some opportunities, right before Christmas and leading up to Christmas. But overall, a really good month in one that we knew was going to be a very difficult one. A lot of teams with winning records and a lot of games on the road. So, definitely pleased with how we performed and on to 2020. Well, I felt like a lot of games against good teams. It seemed like every night we were playing against, a playoff, either a playoff caliber team or a plus 500 team.
I feel like we keep asking you about KCP and how well he's playing, and his efficiency lately from 3 has been pretty great. And I'm sort of wondering if you can put that into perspective with how he responded to losing, having to go back to the bench, and it seems like he just took that in a stride and didn't pout at all. I was just wondering if you could speak to that and how he.
It's a credit to his mental toughness and character. Guys can go in a shell. If they're facing heavy criticism, and he didn't do that. He responded by remaining confident and being true to himself, believing in himself. He had the support of our coaching staff and his teammates. For the job that he was doing and what he brings to the table, and like I said, the type of character he has, and it's a tribute to just remaining confident in yourself. He's had a dramatic turnaround on the offensive end. His defense has always been great for us. Struggled a little bit out of the gates, but he's playing just terrific basketball right now, both ends. I think his coach has just drawn good plays for him. I'd probably credit the head coach, Yeah, I don't know. Shooters go in and out of rhythm. I know he puts in the work. Off days he's always in there getting shots up, and hopefully our offense is just continuing to grow so the shot quality goes up, and the shot quality goes up, guys are going to make shots.
Frank, I know you mentioned running different schemes and stuff. It seemed at least like you zoned up a little bit more than you had been. Two questions about that. What sort of were you hoping to get out of that? But then also, when you change schemes like that, what does that do to kind of focus the defense and refocus, and kind of get guys back into the principles that you're looking for?
Well, it makes me uncomfortable. That's the first thing that throwing a zone out there does. And you say a little bit more than in the past. I think that's the first we've played zone all year, with the exception of the preseason some. Facing the number one offensive team in the league by a large margin. And, sometimes you got to junk the game a little bit, throw them, just a different look. Teams do it to us. And usually we end up prevailing. But it can just change the game up a little bit. I presented it to our team as an option. How do you guys feel about it? The guys like the idea, and I think it was pretty effective tonight.
Coach, what can you say about Dwight Howard's performance, specifically in that second quarter with those alley-oops he was catching and dunking? What does that do for your team?
Yeah, it was, those guys provide tremendous value to our offense, both Dwight and JaVale, with their ability to catch lobs at the rim. And, we call it vertical spacing, which is every bit as important to our offense as the spacing that our three-point shooters bring to the table. So, a lot of acrobatic plays and strong finishes, and, a big part of the win tonight.